So, how do you feel about the notion that it is selfish to bring kids into the world because you know that they're going to have negative things that they may go through?
If you feel that way, just don't have kids. But you have no control over what anyone else does. That's kind of a negative approach, or looking at the cup half empty, because life is considered a gift, and this is a short experience where, as a physical being, you can only experience it here, which is things like emotions, touch, taste, feel, you know.
I think it's important to ask for anybody thinking about being a parent to ask themselves that question because a lot of people may or may not be able to deal with things happening outside of their control. A lot of times parents do try to control their children, but children aren't our properties. They're not for us to control. They're for us to guide. And a lot of times we have to take, a hands-off approach with our children so that they can learn, so that they can, make mistakes and really turn them into lessons, or hopefully we can guide them into knowing how to take mistakes into lessons and not to beat themselves up or to not be careless. So it's definitely a spectrum. Children are a spectrum, and it's important to ask yourself that, most definitely.
You have to decide if you're even the type of person who can handle being a parent in general, because one day they're gonna have to go out into the world alone, and you can't hold their hand forever, and you just have to trust that everything's gonna be okay. And part of that is influenced by how they were brought up, how they were raised, what you taught them as a parent, how you prepared them for the world.
So you've been a parent for going on 4 years. What are 5 traits that a person needs to have, in your opinion, to be a parent?
One would be patience, two would be balance, and three would be being becoming, if you're not already, a more organized individual. Because with something like being a parent, brings more responsibility in general. You're just gonna be juggling a lot of things. So organization. 4, I'm on 5. 5 would be, so I'm on 4. 4 would be high spirits, which I think having a child actually lifts your spirits up, even if you're in a down mood. They're just like happy little beings. And number 5 would be openness. When I say openness, I mean in every way possible. Openness to learn, openness to knowing you don't know it all just because you're older, or openness to learning from your child, or taking the time out to understand what you may not have been programmed to know when you was growing up as a child. And I think openness is very important. It's one of the top. Like, I should have put openness as number 1.
It's fascinating because as I was saying openness in my head, he literally said it. I said openness and then he said openness. But definitely, I put that as 1, but I'll give a bonus one. I won't use his. I said I wasn't going to use his, and I have my own. So I'm going to say accountability, to be able to acknowledge your own mistakes, because as we know, that's how we grow. Adaptability is not about you anymore. You have to center their life in your life. Calmness, nurturing. Your kids need to feel safe with you, because it could go different ways. If your kid doesn't feel safe with you, they could try to find that safety into others, and that other may not be safe, or things could be happening in their life and they don't feel comfortable coming to you, and you never want to be in that situation where your child is uncomfortable, scared, nervous, or worried to come to you. Compassionate, to understand that there are going to be things that occur that you may or may not agree with, but you have to show compassion. Even when there are things that happen that may have made others upset, or things that they do that make you upset, you have to still exude love to them. To be clear, I believe that if a child asks a question, or even if they ask why they're doing something, I feel as though that's very important to instill in your child, to answer their questions, because like you said, we're not going to always be around our children, and there may be things that other people ask them or request from them, and they have no idea why they're doing it. So we don't want our children getting comfortable with these types of things. Like, maybe when you were younger, your parents said, just go to a guardian, just go to an adult around you. Sometimes that adult or that guardian may or not be safe. So I will also say, paying attention. There are going to be influences in your child's life outside of you that could have different effects on your child, no matter what it is. But it's our job to pay attention and to show concern in our children's life. Definitely time well spent, being open to learning. You said all great ones, but it's just all so many traits, I believe, but those are my top ones for sure. So what do you think has been the biggest challenge for you as a father that either you weren't expecting or maybe you were expecting? What was that one big thing for you?
I think it's one of the first things I mentioned, knowing that one day they're going to have to go out into the world. And I still feel like it's certain things that I can't completely speak on because I haven't experienced yet, because he's only 3 years old. And so some of those challenges haven't even came up yet until he gets a little older, and then I would know. But thinking about the future, putting that pressure on myself, just knowing the circumstances of a black man in America in general, and really being strategic in how I'm going to raise this being, to be who they are, to become who they are.
Absolutely. All in all, I'm extremely positive and confident that our son is going to strive to be the best version of himself and the best that he can be. So I'm thankful and I'm blessed to have someone who is willing to be open to communicate different things that we could evolve in regarding being parents, and just committing to being better and better as time goes by. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. And as always,
If you made this far in the video, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell by the subscribe button so you can get notifications next time we drop.